Hello, everyone. Welcome to our live client case study for the month. I'm so excited. I love doing these every single month. And if you haven't tuned in before, welcome. You're in for a treat. Not only is this super entertaining, but you're also going to learn a ton. So if you're here watching, if you could do me a little favor and just hit that like button if you're on Facebook and hit the like button if you're on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel as well, because this is where we share all of our incredible stories from inside of our Authority Accelerator program. And today is simply just one of the incredible humans that we get to work with on a daily basis. And I'm just thrilled to be able to bring this story to all of you. So let us know where you're tuning in from. Hi, Haley. Haley's here from the Authority Accelerator. I love that a lot of our Authority Accelerator clients tune into these. It's really the most amazing and supportive and inspiring community. So I'm so happy to see you here. Hi, Bob from Vermont. Love to see it. So yeah, let us know in the comments where you're tuning in from. Give this a like. Be sure to share it out so that we can inspire even more people with this story. And I am also going to dig into who we're speaking to today to give you a little better context before we actually bring him on. Okay, so to give you a little background, Derek is a client of mine in the Authority Accelerator. If you aren't familiar with the Authority Accelerator, we help experts who lack visibility take their expertise and scale it through online courses and online marketing, and all organic, no paid ads, no complication. We like to do this in the most efficient way possible. And that's really what we're going to focus on in this story today, because I know there's a lot of information out there. So we take people essentially from being invisible, but having a solid knowledge base and being able to impact a lot more people and be able to increase their impact, their income, and authority using online courses and the online space. So Derek is just one person that we've been able to support in this program, and his story is incredible. He struggled for over 3 years with trying to get this program really scaled and off the ground, and mainly consistent. So he had been an entrepreneur for quite some time, but he had made a little bit of a dangerous assumption, with which a lot of people can, saying that he knew it all. If you've ever found yourself saying, I know this already, or I know it all, I challenge you today to go, maybe I don't know it all. If you're not exactly where you want to be, perhaps you don't know it all. And it's always beneficial to listen with open ears, open mind, and an open heart. So he prided himself on the fact that he had never actually leaned on other coaches for help. But because he didn't have guidance from somebody who had been there and done this before, he did a lot of different things before finding success. So Derek had tried building funnels, running paid ads, creating several websites, self-publishing a book on Amazon, building dozens of website iterations with little to no success. And he even tried to launch his own high-ticket program on his own, but it quickly discovered how complex his business structure grew to become. If you can relate to this at all, let me know with that's me in the comments, because I know so many of you can relate to trying everything and going, why isn't this working? So he grew tired and unsettled of knowing that there was so much more he could do with his business and a bigger impact he could create. After 1 year of debating whether or not to join the Authority Accelerator and having no freedom, flexibility, or control over his business, he finally took the leap and took a chance on himself. Fast forward to today, Derek followed the system to a T and has managed to simplify his entire business. Before we went live today, him and I were talking, and he said, it just feels really peaceful right now. That is my goal. So he was able to generate $66,000 in 30 days with the proven blueprint that we lay out in our program, doing what he's absolutely passionate about. So I'm super excited to talk to Derek about how he went from doing everything under the sun to creating a thriving and highly impactful online program, helping newly registered federal contractors fast track their bidding process. So just a few milestones of what Derek's achieved in the last year since enrolling in the Authority Accelerator. He generated $66,000 in revenue in less than 30 days. He enrolled 33 clients into his first launch of his high-ticket program. He more than 3x'd his net income in his business in less than a year after enrolling into our program. He shifted away from doing all of the things and simplified his business model, yet he's making more in his business than ever before with more peace. And he's turned his program evergreen, has already had an overwhelming response from potential clients wanting to join. Pretty amazing stuff. Super excited to share this story. If you're excited about it, let us know in the comments. I see a lot of people saying, that is so me. Chelsea, I hear you. A and J Wrangle says, that's me too. So lots of people can relate. So before we dig in and I bring Derek on, I did want to mention that if you are here and you're thinking about enrolling in our Authority Accelerator program, we're going to make it really easy to get in touch with us. My team is actually here and tuned in today. So if you are interested in being a part of the Authority Accelerator program, if you just put the word apply into the comments, our team is there. Kayla and Jacqueline are there to support you, help you, reach out to you so that you can actually get in touch with us and we can see if this is the best fit for you. So just put apply into the chat and we'll be able to assist you. All right, without further ado, let's bring Derek on. Hi, how are
Hey,
you?
Sody. Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me today. It's an honor.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you here. I'm so happy to share this story because as you probably saw in the comments, there's a lot of people who can relate to your journey and to this story. So let's kind of start from the beginning. Tell me about your journey as an entrepreneur.
So it's been about 4 years. I tell everybody that I've kind of always been entrepreneurial as a kid, but kind of, fast forward to 4 years ago is really when I took the plunge. I left the job that I had been in for about 5 years, learning the thing that, I teach others to do now, which is federal government contracting. I left the job not knowing exactly what I was going to be doing, kind of had a conversation with God and really got to be in a really painful moment where something needed to happen. So it's very confident in taking that plunge, but I had no idea what I was going to do. Me and my girlfriend, we went on a vacation over to the Bahamas. And I'm like, we're going to go. I'm going to get peace of mind. Then I'm going to come back and figure this out. And pretty much the same week I got back from that trip, I just said, okay, you know what? This stuff is really complicated, this government contracting thing that I learned. I don't want to lose it. So I just started writing everything down. And then I'm like, you know what? The pages are just flowing. Why not turn this into like a book? Because I knew how to self-publish on Amazon beforehand. And I said, you know what? I think I'm going to make a go of this. So it started with a book, which is crazy. But I kind of started learning more about, making money online, developed from a course to that point, then kind of got adopted into the model of like running free ads and, hey, you got a book to sell and you got a course and nobody's enrolling in these things because I had zero audience. Nobody knew who I was. I didn't even know about having an audience at the time. I just knew I had to do something. That's kind of how I found myself in the beginning stages of kind of, tripping around, I would say, in the online space, trying to make something out of this really specialized knowledge that I knew I have, and I knew other people needed it. I just didn't know how to, get that information transferred over.
Yeah, and I think that's why this is so important because that's exactly why we work with people like you because there are so many people in the world who have incredible expertise and they're not able to reach the people that they want to reach and make the impact that they want to make because they don't understand the structure of how to actually do it. And so we feel so honored to really be the vehicle to get you to reach more people. All right, so let's dig into why you felt the need to do all of the things in your business because you really did try everything. Just as a reminder, paid ads, funnels, websites, Amazon book. Where did that come from for you?
Well, it came out of necessity, which I think almost everybody can relate to, but you don't really get it until you find yourself like waist deep in the stuff saying, okay, I'm in a situation, I've got to dig my way out. And it's kind of hard to really know what to do. It's easy to even, put things on paper because that's kind of what I did once I had the book and I did a course and, hey, this should make sense. I should be able to run the ads and people will just buy it. And you know what? I did get a few sales, but it was just, the money was not there. First off, it just did not work. And it was just so unsatisfying and so many things. We don't have to get into that right now. But the reason I was trying the things is because I didn't know what to do. And I believe we all go through this stage, and I'm sure a lot of the viewers right now can resonate with this, where it's like there's this feel of urgency to make income because, that is just the real life. Like we need money to pay the bills. Like we're not just, attracting money in. You got to actually take action. That's how law of attraction and all those things work, right? So you're dealing with this constant urgency that's sitting on your shoulder saying, go make money. But then the things you're testing, you need to give them adequate time to actually have a proof of concept to even give them a chance. And so for me, and I'm sure others can resonate, I wasn't able to give enough time, attention, and focus to trying the things. So it was like, do this for, 90 days. It's, I'm not where I need to be, must not be working. Let's go to the next thing. And really what I found out looking back is the truth was like, sure, a lot of these models, they're proven models. Most of them work if you have the right ingredients. But because I had this urgency of money, kind of putting like serving two masters, right? Two bosses, two masters, it just was getting me nowhere really fast. And I was going in a circle literally for years.
Yeah. And I think, like I said, so many people can relate to that as well in terms of like you you obviously need to have money in the door to feel secure in your life and to be able to pay for the things that we all need to live on a daily basis. And I think the pressure sometimes of that leads to overcomplication and leads to thinking that it can't be easy. It can't be something that can be frictionless. It can't be something that can be done with efficiency. You have to grind for years and you have to do all of the things and you have to do it the hard way in order to see success. And I think for me, because I did believe that for a long time and it led me to the hospital with burnout, my whole goal with this program was to make it very obvious that it actually can be simplified. It can be easy. And there are just core principles behind any business that make them a success. And that's where we want to build the foundation from, not building all of these external things. We want to get the foundation solid, which allows you to grow with more ease. So when you look back on it now and all the things that you tried, how does it make you feel to think about how much time it took you to get here?
I mean, I'm learning to love myself and have peace with myself around some things, because, you know, I'm very kind of personality A-type, go, just a bit of a control freak and all these things, these characteristics. I'm learning back. I'm so glad that I did stick it through, because I'm so grateful to be where I am. So I'm grateful for my journey. I don't look back and say anything negative about it. It's gotten me to be where I am right now. However, and this is the big but, right? If I was able to kind of have the confidence and have a proven plan, where can I be right now? I mean, 4 years is such a long time. And then I think it's like dog years. It's like times 7 when you're in the online space, because a year online, it feels like freaking forever, because so much goes on versus maybe, you know, a brick and mortar, or maybe a brick and mortar feels that way too. But I know, especially in the online space, things feel so much longer. In 4 years, it's felt like an eternity. And where I could be in my business right now, it's just, you know, even if you move an inch over time, those two paths, they're dramatically different. Imagine like 4 years, like I could.
Yeah, absolutely. I always say that to people. I'm like, just imagine if you took that first step, like today, where you could be, you know, it just fast tracks everything and fast tracks the impact that you want to make. And I always think about it from that lens, is like, what is your end goal and what do you want to do with your business? What's the impact you want to have? And how can we reduce the friction in getting there? And a lot of the times reducing the friction does come down to having the right blueprint in front of you and having the right guidance. So kind of speaking of that, you said that it took you a year to make the decision to enroll in the Authority Accelerator. Talk me through that, because so many people, again, can relate to that very thing. Like, I know there are people here right now watching this going, I have been thinking about this for a year, if not more. And I watch every one of these case studies and I go, I'm going to be next. And yet I haven't enrolled yet. Walk me through, or talk me through what your hesitation was.
So to be fair, I was at a crossroads where I was like, okay, I want to go high ticket, because I had tried so many things up to that point. I had gotten to the point of like, okay, high ticket and scalability, doing this type of model feels really much like home. So I got into a place where the idea felt really good to me. So I had, like I said, I was at a crossroads and I had two options. Like, okay, I can go do this on my own, because it already feels like home. I already feel like I'm halfway there. I have built, you know, a bit of an audience at this stage as well. Or, you know, I can work with somebody who I have a lot of trust with through online, because I had just really begin to trust you and the program through listening to other testimonials and following that online. And there was really, you know, I'm big on Pat Flynn. And I know, you know, Pat Flynn, but anybody knows Pat in space, Pat is so big on integrity. And those are the only people I follow. And Sonny, I think you even had a conversation once with Pat online. I saw that too. And I did my homework on my digging. I'm like, okay, Sonny is cut from the same cloth of the people that I want to associate with. So that's what brought me up to that point. But it was just my own, I gotta do things the hard way at that point. So I decided to kind of really ended up being just under a year of trying it on my own. And I said, you know what, this is not where I want to be for my own high ticket. And that's when I decided to enroll in Authority Accelerator last September.
That's awesome. And however you got to us, I'm happy that we made it to each other.
Definitely.
And in terms of coaching in general, I know you had a lot of hesitation around just having a mentor, having a coach. I think I'm the first coach you hired. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So what was your hesitancy around coaching and coaches?
Yeah. And to be fair, I'm going to give you the most honest answer. And it's mostly personal, because I don't know if I have a learning disability. I really do believe that I do, but I have a really hard time learning from others. And I had, you know, I was not the A+ student in school. I had to work my butt off just to get B's and C's. And I was really proud of that, because I had to earn it. And I really have a hard time learning from others. I just have a weird way that I have to learn. And so I was always fearful that, hey, you know what, they're not going to have the patience for me to ask the extra questions or what have you that I need, because, you know, teachers in high school, it's like everybody would laugh at me when I'd raise my hand like the 10th time. They like roll their eyes. Oh my God, this guy's asking the question again. From that life experience, I developed a chip on my shoulder to say, you know what, screw that. Like, I'm going to get what I need because no one's going to stand up and fight for me. I need to stand up for myself. So this has also been a process for loving myself and getting to the point to, you know, making the decision to join AA. I really felt comfortable, and really that was the only time I felt comfortable because of the research, you know, even the association with Pat Flynn, these things that I mentioned already. That's really the first time I felt comfortable, because I felt like I was going to be able to get what I want if I needed it. Not that I'm a highly resourceful guy. I mean, like I said, I pride myself on that too. I don't need a whole lot, but if I needed something, I wanted somebody to be able to fall on and, you know, not be disappointed or, you know, made to feel a certain way like I was leading up to that stage.
Totally.
So rather personal. I'm not sure if anybody can connect with that, but that was my honest reason.
I think a lot of people can connect with that for sure.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, what's been interesting for us is we have so many clients who learn in so many different ways. And I think a big thing that we focus on inside the program is we say, like, ask to accelerate. So we want
Yes.
you to ask questions, because otherwise, how are you going to get past the hurdles? And it's called the accelerator for a reason. So,
And
so
it's been huge for me. I mean, it's
yeah,
absolutely, I've gotten so many answers from others in the community, not to go there, but it's just like, I've never once, and I don't know if you remember, but a month ago, I was kind of being online bullied and stuff like that in the
yeah,
space. And I was coming up against some real BS that I probably shouldn't have. My God, the outpouring that I received from the community was just something I've never gotten anywhere in my entire life. And I'm not saying that. It was just such a personal and hard day for me. It's like, to be able to have that, like, I feel so much more whole being part of, it's not just the program, but the community.
yeah. And I think at the
Yeah.
end of the day, you know, results are great, and our aim is to get you the results, but part of getting results is to feel like you're emotionally safe, and like you are in a safe space to ask the questions you need to ask without being judged and without being perceived in a way that you feel like you're silly for asking them. This is hard. And I say this to people all the time. I'm like, what you're doing is not easy. Yes, you have the game plan to do it, but there are so many things that happen internally as well in order to achieve success, because you have to rewrite a lot of the programming that you've believed for a long time about what it takes to be successful, and believing that it has to be the hard way in order for you to be successful. So it's not just the curriculum and the blueprint, it's also all of this other stuff that comes with it. And that's
The
why
iceberg, the iceberg,
yeah,
all the stuff under the
exactly.
water.
All the stuff under the water that people don't see. And that's where I think the real magic of our community comes in, is that everyone relates to that and resonates with it. And I mean, it's proven here today. There's so many people that are here from the AA community just to support you.
Yeah.
So
So
that's,
awesome.
yeah, that's awesome to hear. With your program itself, let's kind of dig into what you do.
Sure.
Do you want to explain the transformation and how you impact people with your program?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a pretty niche area. If anybody's seen the movie War Dogs, that's kind of my first go-to. Most people haven't seen that movie either. So really what happens is the government buys goods and services from small businesses. It's a procurement cycle because they can't buy it themselves. We all pay taxpayers' dollars, so the government can't just be spending that. It's got to go through a cycle to make sure the money's, you know, it's being competed. They're getting the best value. So what happens is there's an opportunity for small businesses, whether it's janitorial, staffing, groundskeeping, just providing, you know, supplies and goods, you name it. There's what's called a NAICS code for it, kind of like a buying code. Small businesses don't really know that opportunity is there. And it is a bit of a process and learning a different language to bid on contracts and even learn the process of doing that. So that's what I did for 5 years, working for the small business that I worked for in my mid-20s. And I left that job to teach other small businesses who don't know that opportunity is there, or maybe they do know it, but they don't know the language, or they don't know how to approach it, because there's a lot of, to be honest with you, kind of sharks in this industry that will take tens of thousands of dollars from you and have nothing to show for it. So that kind of really pisses me off. So I think there's a better way. So my whole mission is to be that better way for small businesses that want to get serious about this.
I love it. And I mean, the impact you're having on your clients is phenomenal. And
Yeah.
I've seen some of the results. I'll share a few of those later, but they actually speak a lot to like your patience with your clients, and like how much you support them and how much you want to really make a positive impact on them and be different in your industry. So the fact that we get to be the vehicle for that and help you do that is really awesome to see.
It's everything. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
everything.
it really is. It's the reason why we do what we do across the board. And I think so many of our clients are aligned with that. And that's why they're a part of the program. So As a reminder for everyone here, if you are tuning in, thank you for being here. I love seeing the comments and the engagement. If you haven't yet, just be sure to give this a like and comment below with where you're tuning in from. And like I said earlier, if you are interested in being part of the Authority Accelerator program because you have an expertise or information that you want to get out to the world and be able to monetize, then just put apply into the comments, regardless of where you're watching. And my team, Jacqueline and Kayla, are here to support you and help you. All right, so let's dig into, we wanted to dive into 3 tactics for the viewers today to really be able to understand how you were able to achieve this. Because when you see you quit paid ads, you quit funnels, but you made 66K in 30 days, it doesn't make any sense just for a lot of people. So let's really dig into the tactics behind your journey and how you use the Authority Accelerator program to accelerate your projection and your growth. So the first thing that I wanted to get into, and something we discussed when we were offline, was the secret to creating content that actually converts on social media. The second thing I want to touch on is how to turn strangers on the internet into lifelong clients. And the third thing is how to validate your course offer and sell it with ease without being a perfectionist, which I know a lot of people here can relate to. So let's talk about the secret to creating content that actually converts on social media. And what was that light bulb for you? And how did the program help you with that?
Yeah. So I think probably everybody watching this who's been following, just learning about the online space, you hear about this concept of a call to action, right? And that's something I learned in my early days of like, okay, well, you can, post kind of content, and it could be, really anything. You're trying to get engagement, you're trying to get likes. The thing is, that does not spin the wheels behind this scene. So I feel like that concept evolved to a whole nother level that I didn't really understand. Once I joined AA, we started talking about something called profitable content, which is kind of what I think, in my mind, CTA kind of on steroids, because basically everything you're doing has intent behind it. There is no kind of fluff or nonsensical activities going on, which is great because I'm a very no fluff, no BS type guy. I want to know why I'm doing this. So I really did have like a light bulb moment where I sat and kind of just resonated in my head and felt good for like a week. Like it took a while to kind of come full circle, but I was like, you know what, that makes total sense. And I built off of this idea of a call to action. But you know what, the fact that I could take that a step further and say, you know what, everything that I do is going to have this strategy behind it for my business to spin the wheels the way that I want them and when I want them to, and all these things that we go through in terms of profitable content. To me, that was a total game changer. And it's something that I'm still growing into because I think these things are skills. And, whether you're playing Pokemon and you're level 1 or like whatever it is, you get better and better and better. So, maybe I'm a level 5 and I was at a level 1, but it's like, I'm just going to keep leveling up. I know I'm going to keep getting better and better at this skill. And the fact that I'm able to identify it as a skill is a very empowering thing because it's something that I know I have control over.
Yes, absolutely. And do you also feel like because of that element of control and that it's a skill, and it becomes more effortless because you have essentially a blueprint for content instead of sort of like randomly throwing things up on the internet? Is that something that you sort of like felt a transition in with yourself?
I mean, everything I did was throwing spaghetti at the wall. Like for 3 years, I threw spaghetti at the wall. And hey, you get results, right? Because
totally.
Right. But now I believe you got to get to know what works. So, and be, testing things, and we can talk about that too, right? Knowing what works a little bit, you got to start somewhere, but then doubling and tripling down on that and building a strategy out of that instead of continuing to jump and do random activities like, hey, well, let's back the truck up. That kind of worked. Like that becomes one of the levers. And this is what you taught us in the program too. Like keep that because that's something, you can go back to time and time again. So eventually you come up with, when I joined the program, the number one thing is less is more. So now I can have a short list of things rather than just page after page after page or page of things that I need to do or things that I think may or may not work. I have a short list of things that I do know work because it's been proven, right?
Yeah, something that I've been really focusing on recently and have started sharing with all of you is like really business comes down to highly duplicatable problems and repeatable solutions. And that's what you want to create, right? To take the thinking out of it. And you have to go through testing first, but it's like testing with a purpose and intention. And then you realize, okay, this works really well. These activities are my biggest lead gen activities. So let me double down on those things and reverse engineer my success and only focus on what works as opposed to trying to do everything and spreading yourself thin and kind of plateauing, you now know what actually scales you and grows you upwards. I actually have a whole video about this coming out tomorrow. So I'm very excited.
You have to go deep. At some point, you have to stop going wide and you have to go deep. And that sums up my whole thing. I had gone wide, keep going wider, wider, wider. When I joined AA, I finally stopped and I committed and I trusted the process. And that's why I know I'm like a level whatever, because it's only been September. It's barely been 6 months. So I just can't wait to see you over the next year, 2022 and 2023, because I can clearly see how the business is going to grow for the next 2 to 3 years, because I know I have so much more work to do going deep, but I already know what that's going to look like. And I just couldn't be more excited to do it. So
it's awesome. It's awesome to see. And it is. It's about going deep, not wide. I did want to touch on that before we move on to how to turn strangers on the internet into lifelong clients. What I wanted to touch on is we had a conversation about like the need to serve everyone. And I think so many people can relate to that, because for a long time I felt the same way. And I was like, well, I want to make the biggest impact I can. And what's misleading about that is that we often think if we want to make a bigger impact, we have to serve everyone. What I've come to realize is if you try to serve everyone, you essentially serve no one, because everything is at a surface level instead of truly being able to make the deep impact on the people who need you the most and knowing who that ideal client is inside and out. You said something that I thought was really funny and kind of sums it up perfectly, but it's like, if you give away everything to everyone, people will come in and take the furniture.
And if that's your business model, you will not have a business. You won't have a house. Yeah.
Yes. Do you want to kind of dig into that a little bit deeper? Because I know that's something that you struggled with as well, was like trying to support everyone. And then needing to go deeper and more refined in terms of who you could really make the biggest impact on.
I mean, coming back to kind of year 2 in my 4-year journey leading up, the book didn't work, the ad thing, we kind of gone through all that. So the next thing I went into was like making a bunch of courses, because like one course didn't work, right? So yeah, let's use logic. Let's just do more of what's working. So let's make like 7 or 8 of them, right? And go figure, you get the same exact results, right? So I had gotten so tired and just disillusioned, and I was pretty much losing all hope, really, because like nothing was working. And when you do this by yourself, it is extremely hard. If you guys watching, if you're doing this by yourself, it is very hard. You have my empathy, just from me to you. I've been there, I know it. Don't do it by yourself. If you can find somebody, and if you're here, you did find somebody, so definitely consider that. But yeah, that was kind of stage 2 for me, was just kind of doing more of that. And that wasn't working either. But some things developed. I did start implementing some free trainings, things like that, if that's something you want to touch on. But that's kind of what that looked like at that stage.
Yeah, I love it. No, that's perfect. Yeah. And I think the thing to remember too is that, yes, you can impact a lot of people through your free content, your profitable content, as you said, and like that starts to build the audience, that starts to nurture people. But not everybody's at a place on their journey where they have the trust or it's the right timing to make the move forward. So you can impact a lot of people through free content, but the ones that you're going to have the deepest impact on, those are the people who are ready to jump in and invest and do the work. Not just invest financially, but invest their trust into you and invest their time into the program that you've created. And I wanted to share, because I think this is why I do what I do. I mean, I've mentioned this before, but the whole purpose behind my business is to create success ripples, because I know I'm very good at helping people take their expertise and be able to impact more people with it using the skill sets that I've learned. And so that's why I created the Blueprint and the Authority Accelerator. And what you've been able to do with your program, you're seeing that impact. So I wanted to just share a few things. One of your clients wrote to you and said, so thank you for all that you do and your patience. In our initial call, I remember saying that I couldn't handle a heavy duty equipment contract. And you said, I think you could. And so just having that belief in people makes a huge difference. And then another one says, sharing success, just got awarded our first Fed itsy bitsy teeny weeny prime contract. Yay.
That was awesome. That was an awesome moment for our group. Yeah.
Yeah. So how does it make you feel to know that you are now able to serve people at that level and you're seeing the results of it for people out in the world?
It's what I was missing. So that's how I know I'm where I'm supposed to be and where I'm going to be for probably quite a while. Because everything I had done to this point, I was able to begin monetizing. When you do a million things, something does start to work. And like I said, year 2, year 3, I did start to get a little bit of traction. But what I had was what I like to call a duct tape business. It was very unintentional. We had, well, this was working and this was working and this was working. And it got to such a stage that it was impossible to manage. And being able to get these type of results, like you just showed on the screen, with much more streamlined activity, I mean, these results are way better than what I was doing when I had, the 10 different arms moving in all the different directions, right? So it's just kind of a win-win. And to me, that's everything.
Yes, absolutely. That is everything. All right, so let's move into number 2, how to turn strangers on the internet into lifelong clients. And what I really want to touch on here is that when you launched your initial round of your program, so we call it a POP. If you aren't familiar with that term, it means profitable offer prototype. And essentially what it means is that it is the first very rough draft version of your offer so that you can get it out into the world, have people pay for it, have client results, have cash flow, and most importantly, have confidence in the offer that you've created. So you were able to get this off the ground in 30 days. But you didn't use a funnel. You didn't use paid ads. You didn't use a lot of the things that you had used for a long time trying to make your business work. So let's talk about how you were able to take people who didn't know you and actually convert them into lifelong clients that are getting these kinds of results.
For sure. So I really only relied on 2 mediums, which was my YouTube channel. And then I also had a email list. But the thing is that's so important with that, because I don't want anybody saying, well, yeah, he had a little bit of a channel, he had an email. I don't want anybody saying that, because the thing was, I had a high ticket program already and it was not working. So even if those same people had seen that offer then, they weren't taking it. So whatever I had done differently this second time around had resulted in more success and more people wanting to work with me. And that's why I always like to look at it from those terms, wanting to work with me, because I'm here to serve. It's not to make money. If I wanted to make money, I would just be doing government contracts myself. Okay. Like, it's very lucrative, but I want to help people. So I had been able to do in 30 days, work with people, get people to join my team more than the entire year combined prior to that, doing the high ticket program. That is the proof in the pudding for me.
Absolutely. I wanted to show your results actually, because you shared them inside the Authority Accelerator group. So this is within 30 days. Derek was able to launch his program, get it off the ground, and get paying clients in the door to prove and validate his offer. And he brought in $64,000 in revenue and $46,000 in cash collected. So the niche, as he mentioned, is federal contracting. Confidently respond to your first federal bid solicitation. 32 clients in the door and a price point of $2,000. I mean, it's incredible. Like, obviously you live for your client results. I live for my client results, because again, if the program didn't work, like, what's the point of doing it? So just seeing the results that come in every single day inside of our Authority Accelerator community is what keeps me excited. It keeps me going. These conversations keep me excited and keep me going. And it keeps me so motivated, because I'm like, I know there are so many people out there who are just hiding, or they're just forced to be hidden because they don't know how to get their message out into the world. They don't know who they're trying to serve or what they want to be known for. And we know how to really fast track that process and make this easier. So just consider for 1 second here, I think it's so important. 4 years spent trying to figure this out on your own. 30 days later, we have a proven, validated offer and $64,000 in revenue in the door. Like, that sounds crazy when you say it out loud, but it's actually true and what happened. So how does that feel for you?
I just want to add one more thing, actually, in that same direction. The craziest part that I didn't even tell you was that about half of the people who joined that, when I got on a call with them and I spoke with them, they're like, oh, because I launched this in January, right? Derek, I found you at Christmas. So it was less than 30 days they had even known about me, whether it's on YouTube or whatever. So they were brand new people to my space, which means I could have literally just started and, maybe had a similar result to that. I think that's a key distinction.
I think that's huge. And it speaks to, when you make content the right way, people find you.
Yes,
and
exactly.
It builds trust so much faster. And I do want to reiterate what Derek said. Like, a lot of our clients don't have a YouTube channel. Ever, actually. You don't need it to grow your online course business. Eventually, does it come into play? Absolutely, but you don't need it. And I think the key takeaway here is understanding that whether you're starting with zero audience and no one knowing who you are, or you have an established audience, knowing how to speak to them, how to make the right content, how to simplify that process, how to get in direct contact with people, that streamlines the process and builds a business that's built to last. So you don't need to have social media. You don't need to have a YouTube channel. And we actually have lots of examples on this channel on YouTube of people who had no audience coming into this and no business coming into this. One of who is now a multimillionaire. So with his online program. So we can drop those links in the comments as well. Nicole from my team is here. If you don't mind grabbing those 2 case studies and putting them in the comments, that'd be awesome. Okay, so you talked about this a little bit before too, but you would never really consider the thought process behind like a free training. And this is something that you tackled, and something that we support you in creating. And is it necessary to selling your program? No, but does it help? Absolutely. And I know it was kind of like a shift for you that moment. So, what was so monumental about the free training?
So for honestly, I had experienced it first on my own because, and I think this is important to share around like my second year when I had gotten so frustrated. That's when I first kind of stumbled, again, like going from call to action to profitable content, right? Like it's the steroids version once you join the program. I had stumbled upon free content like so many people watching this right now have probably as well. I had gotten so frustrated. I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm putting everything to free. Those 7 or 8 courses, I said, you know what? I'm done. It was Easter. I said, happy Easter. I literally made the video, clicked enter, and I posted it. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do now. I had forgot to set one thing free. What ended up happening was everybody started going through my free courses. And they're like, I'm getting to know you so much better, Derek. Like, you're a genuine guy. You really want to help us. And you're giving me some real things. What ended up happening was that first month I had sold $1,000 in the one thing that I forgot to actually set to free. It was set to like $50 or something like that. It was a download. So all those people who were going through the free stuff, they started buying the one thing that wasn't even selling before, but because they went through that, they got to get to know me on a much bigger level. And, again, that was kind of a conversation I had with God when I'm like, all right, we're setting it all to free because I don't know what to do. And it was just an insane moment. I love telling that story because if you've ever felt so kind of just glim and without hope, and you get to that extreme of putting your life's work right to free, that was extremely scary. But
Yeah.
it was when everything changed for me. And then when I got into AA, learning more about the intentionality, right? These are the things, the strategy, working with just focusing on a few activities, I was able to kind of build off of and capitalize what I had just kind of stumbled my way into a couple years earlier.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's so helpful to hear that because I think it really helps people understand like the more that you're intentional with your content, but the more generous you are with that intention, the more that you're going to turn people who don't know you, don't trust you, don't like you, don't know anything about what you do into believers because they're then going to go, oh, wow. First of all, this is made specifically for me, because it feels like you're talking directly to me. When you know who you're serving inside and out, which is why we focus so much on that, it's very easy to create the right content with the right intention and to do less, but actually get better results from it. So we believe generosity leads to abundance. It's one of our core values as a business, and you're living proof of that. I mean, that is a scary moment to turn everything to free. But as you could see, like it helped people understand why you were so good at why you are so good at what you do and why
Like
they would want to work with you.
success leaves clues, right? So when I started hearing about AA and when I joined, I'm like, these are all the clues that I had, figured out over the last 3 years. Sunny's already identified them, and she's just basically made it that much easier so you don't have to figure it out for yourself. So
Yeah.
it's just all these little clues that happen.
Yeah, and to kind of take that a step further, so you're now understanding the importance of like intentionally displaying, providing your genius to people. And from that, you're then also having real conversations with human beings, which is so valuable. And so many people don't take the time to do this in their business. And again, it's one of those things that makes your business much more effortless because think about your own sort of buying decisions or when you're going to make any sort of investment into something that's going to change your life, change your business. Every person who comes into our program, we help them create a transformative program, not just information, but transformative. And when people are making a decision to create a transformation, it can feel scary. Just like for you, it took, a year for you to really feel comfortable and confident in it. So to be able to speak to a real person makes a world of difference. And to be able to see your face, because these are done over Zoom. How did sales calls change your business?
I had to come full circle with it because I kind of got to this model where, like, in that year two, again, coming from my own experience, I started doing phone calls for $30. I'm so sorry to say. I started doing strategy calls for $30. I'm so sorry to say it, looking back.
That's okay.
I eventually worked my way up to $500, so I feel a lot better about that. I don't do them anymore. I stopped doing them a year ago. But so the idea of sales calls to me, I didn't like it because I'm like, I can't give away my free time. I had to work my way up to just get my time valued. So now I'm just going to give it away for free, right? One way you could look at it, way that I started to look at it, because I really like this term called the lifetime value of a customer.
Yep.
So if you're looking short term, right, you're kind of looking to get the the return on your investment right away, which is not a good way to grow your business. And you can really see on the internet, people that are growing online business, those who are there to serve long-term and they care about their reputation and what the value they're adding, and those who just want to, take the money, right? We all know those things that exist. For me, I had to get to the point of understanding the lifetime value of a customer where it's like, okay, I'm investing my time. Yes, Derek, your time is precious. It's valuable. There's so many things you could be doing. Oh, I guess be spending it with my family, the most valuable thing ever, right? So I'm going to, even risk having a no-show with a call, all these things. But I'm willing to do it because I believe in the lifetime of the value of the customer, of these people that I've learned to attract who are a great fit, who are at the right stage. And that's why all these things are so important, because you don't want to be spending time with people that are not a good fit, because you are just quite frankly going to be wasting your own time. So it was a process I had to learn. Mentally, I had to get over the uncomfortableness of investing that time. But I'm at a stage now where the return has already brought me people that, I want to work with lifetime customers, right? And so it's already, I'm already good with it. It's already a proven thing for me. And, but I would never have done that. I never would have done that. I wouldn't have had the confidence to do that before joining the program, because I would have been stuck in the whole, I guess you would call it a scarcity mindset.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like old patterns, old beliefs, which is, like I said, part of the process whenever you're building a business. One thing I will also say too is, like, I've mentioned this in recent YouTube videos, I will never have a program again where I don't have a process where we actually like interview and really understand the person that we're talking to before accepting them into our programs, because it makes for such a positive and healthy community of clients, and it makes for much better results for the clients. So is that something that you've noticed in terms of like switching the model and in the community that you've built? We saw just a few results from the community that you've built, but how has it changed that dynamic?
It's very clear that everybody's kind of marching to the same beat in terms of where they're at on their journey. But in addition to that, even adding that step, that people, they feel special. They're like, oh, Derek, I thought I was going to talk to one of your people, which, eventually I will probably grow my team. But right now it's just me doing this, which I'm able to do because I'm actually working less than doing the duct tape business thing. But the other thing that people tell me, my clients in the program, or even somebody who doesn't enroll, they're like, Derek, I was shocked that I was able to talk with you. Your competitors have a buy now button.
Yes.
And I think we all go, like we know what that feels like. We know what that means. And I kind of wear that as a badge of honor to say, yeah, I don't have a buy now button. Everybody who's in the program, we have a conversation, and I have no problem saying, I can't help you, or saying, hey, it's not no, but maybe not right now. Do X, Y, Z. Let's, come back to this chat 6 months from now. We're still going to be here. So being able to do that has taken us to a quality level where I believe my quote unquote competitors, even though I don't even look at it like that way, but that's the way that my clients say to me, they view us differently, which is amazing, because
and it's so interesting you bring that up. Kayla, who's here, we have a team meeting every morning, and we were talking this morning. We always talk about wins, and she was sharing that someone that she had spoken to on the phone said to her, like, I actually can't believe I'm talking to a real human, because most people are like, watch this, click this button, buy my program. And it's like, how do you make that kind of a decision? And how do you really know if you can support the person if you don't know them? And so, yes, it feels like it's maybe more effort, but it's actually more effortless in building the right community and getting the most phenomenal clients in the door and results for those clients. So I'm so glad that you spoke to that, and you said it in such a way that I think is really going to hit home for a lot of people. And I love that you were like, I had to overcome that, but now I'm so glad that I did. Let's move into the third aspect here. So how to validate your offer and sell it with ease without being a perfectionist, because I'm a former perfectionist. Raise your hand, both hands. We both are. And if you are a former perfectionist and you're watching this, please put perfectionist in the chat, because I know a lot of you are here. And I get it. And for me, it has taken a lot of time and some therapy to realize that perfectionism is really just procrastination in disguise. And it's a way to protect yourself. And so it's something I really had to overcome. And it's part of why I've built the program in the way that I have, because I want you to just be able to create the impact you want to create with ease and with efficiency, because otherwise we're just delaying you reaching the people who need you most. So how did you overcome that perfectionism by following this process?
Well, I'm still overcoming it, and it probably will be a lifetime thing, right? I think that's the truth for most of us. But this concept of being the scientist, I've been able to grow into. And it's, again, only when you feel confident and things feel like home are you willing to say like, okay, like I'm good with this. So I've been able to become good with this idea of being the scientist, which means like you're not, I think you would say, not operating from a scarcity mindset, number one, right? Because you're giving it a safe space.
Mm-hmm.
You're willing to say, for me, is what it means to me is, it's like in fifth, sixth grade science class, right? Like, what is your hypothesis? I thought it was nonsense. I'm looking back, I'm like, this is exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
I think this is going to happen based on, all the research and my best, whatever, intuition and all these things, or just what the program says, right? Like, I'm still learning to unlearn things. Just listen to what Sunny says. It will work out. but you've got to learn it for yourself too, right? So, okay, test this. Think of it as a test. Have your hypothesis. I think X is going to happen. And if it doesn't exactly happen the way that you think it's going to, that's fine. Like, it's totally fine. Pivot and then move on to the next best thing. Or, hey, it did somewhat good, but it didn't do as good as you wanted to think. Okay, well, what worked? Hang on to those things and then maybe change those other variables, and then it'll just keep getting better and better and better. That's so much more empowering than spending 3 years throwing random stuff at the walls. So
yes, and to kind of add on to that, failure is a part of success. And so it's something that I've really learned to love and embrace, because I know that every time I have a mistake or a failure or whatever, it's actually just growth. And it just means that I've learned what does work and what doesn't work. And I can cut things that don't work, and I can improve things that do work and double down on the things that do work. So, and like the idea of progress over perfection. And the only way to get to a place where your business actually works and you know what actually works so you can focus on those activities is you got to test, you got to try, you got to put things out there. That's the only way to figure it out. If you don't ever put anything out into the world, we have people come to us who've been working on their programs for 3 years and never made a sale. And it crushes me, because I'm like, there are so many people out there waiting for you to make this impact and to change their lives or their businesses or their love life or whatever it might be.
Yep.
And you're sitting here perfecting the slide deck for your course and not making any impact, which is what you got into this for in the first place. So it's like thinking about, what's the impact I want to create? Where am I right now? And how can I reduce the friction in this process so I can actually reach the people who need me most? And being the scientist is a concept that we talk about in the Authority Accelerator from day one. And it helped me so much. It was monumental for me, because it went from this level of like, I expect if I do this, this has to happen, to I'm going to experiment, really look at the feedback and what did happen, and then know exactly how to move forward with more ease and more success. So it's experimentation over expectations leads to way more growth and success, if that makes sense.
It's not personal.
Yes.
Take the personalness out. I'm a creative person, so every time I would do one of my 8 courses or make it down, it's a work of art. This is a craft. They gotta love it, like on a very deep level. And then sell, and it's like it feels bad.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I found, it's been really interesting. I've been doing this obviously for a very long time now, and the people who share feedback like, I don't like the way your logo looks, or I think your website's ugly. I'm like, oh, you're not my people. Like, like, do you care more about the brand or you care more about results? Because I care more about results. So I don't really care about being pretty or perfect or all of those things. But yeah, just such good feedback for so many people here who are struggling with that and in that area of like analysis paralysis, which can be debilitating. And can keep so many people stuck. So I really hope, if anything, you heard this loud and clear and you're like, okay, I'm just going to move it forward and take a baby step in the right direction. That's all it takes. Okay. So you talked a lot about, a lot of the personal things that came up for you through this process. And it's feedback that I've heard from a lot of our clients, and the ones that I've been able to speak to have said, it's not just about building this highly scalable online course business. That's not all we learn in the Authority Accelerator. It's also this sort of process in personal growth, and really sort of like identifying our strengths and our weaknesses and knowing who we are a lot better. How has that shown up for you in this process?
The process has forced me to strive for balance, because I have to I am committed to working within the structure of the steps laid out for me. If I wasn't following that, I would just be to my own, devices, and we know what happens when I do that, right? And that's not good. So for me, it's forced me to strike a balance, because that means I can't do these kind of crazy ideas, or I'm a creative person. I just want to do this, because I know the things that are going to matter. And ultimately, if I ask myself at the end of the day, you can do that if you want. I give you permission to do that. But looking at the big picture of things, this is what you're most focused on. Then it's like, okay, I really don't want to do that because this is what matters most. And I know these are the activities that are going to be, kind of turning the wheels, the flywheel, like you talk about in that. And when I'm able to kind of give myself the freedom to say, you can do these other things, but we already know what's working optimally for you. So do you really want to go away from that? No, probably not. So being able to stay balanced doing that, I wouldn't have been able to do that beforehand. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest, reward for me is hearing my clients say, like, my life is a lot more balanced and peaceful because that is what I aim for. I mean, I always say, like, your business does reflect your own story. It's a mirror for you. And because I landed in the hospital at 29 with severe burnout, they thought I was having a stroke. And it was my scariest moment as an entrepreneur. And I was one of those people who's doing all of the things. That's why I made this program, because I'm like, there's a better way to do it. And you don't have to kill yourself in the process to get to a place where you are able to succeed. And you can succeed with a lot more peace in your business. So on that note, I'm curious to know, like, when you think about yourself 4 years ago to who you are today, like, what's sort of the black and white or side-by-side difference that you see?
I mean, now I have a legitimate business. Before, I was just trying things and maybe making some side hustle money online. And that took 2 years to even get to that point. Before that, it was just a hobby. If you're not making money doing what you're doing, it's just a hobby. I firmly believe that. Certainly not a business. And even leading up to this point of a year ago, before, 6 months ago, before joining AA, but even doing my high ticket program myself and it not really going the way I wanted it to, was not confided that this is a legitimate business, something that I can hang my hat on, something that I'll be able to support my family, all these things that go along naturally with the business. I just was not to that point of being able to say, I will be able to continue to do this as my life's work for this foreseeable, future. And there's so much that goes into that. That's huge. That is very much black and white. And it's new to me. I say it's kind of like taking you get a brand new car, you're taking the new car out for a spin, and it's great, you love all the things, but the steering wheel's a little bit different and the gas pedal's a little bit more sensitive and all these cool things, right? So it's like really, really smooth and it's really nice, but it's like I'm still getting used to it. So
Totally.
It's because it's been that big of a shift. Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible. And makes my heart very happy to hear. And I totally hear you. I mean, there is a very interesting thing that happens when we achieve the success we so badly wanted. There's still a part of us that goes, it can't be this easy. Let me make it harder. And let me burn myself out in the process. And I see that all the time with clients. And so the fact that you've really been able to kind of hold yourself back from maybe falling into old tendencies of overworking yourself and still see success and still see the growth that you're looking for, it's just proof of the longevity you have in front of you with your business, which I'm so excited to see where you're going to be in 6 months to a year. When you think about the future and also the fact that you've now turned your program into an evergreen program. And I guess it would be pertinent to share a little update on that. How's it going since turning your program evergreen? Let's start there.
I mean, it's only been about 2 weeks, right? So it hasn't been that long, but we're already, 10K plus in sales, which is huge because if you would have told me that before, that's awesome. And the thing with that is it's, we still have a number of clients that are in the hopper making the decision. So the real number is actually larger than that. The thing is, I also, I booked out clients ahead of time. So they've been waiting for 2.5 months to get into this program. And the thing is, sometimes there's no shows now because they've been waiting for so long. Maybe they went to my competitors. I know they'll be back because I've had a number of people already defect. So it's all good. So we're still kind of going through that newness stage. Like I said, taking the new car out for a spin. Yeah. But it's like, holy crap, being able to say, hey, we have 10K plus in sales over the last 2 weeks is very, very encouraging, knowing that I know next month and the months going forward are going to be that much better than that. So I can foreseeably see where we're going to be, 4 to 6 months from now for sure. Beyond that, but it's that place I foresee myself being is going to be amazing. That's the point. That's the
point. Yeah. What do you, I mean, if you could wave a magic wand, where do you want to be in a year with your business, with the foundation you've built? Where do you think you're going to be in a year?
Yeah. So it's funny. January 1, I kind of made a vision board thing, just health, relationship, your business, all these things we like to do. I said, okay, and this is before I did, my pop or anything like that, my cash flow plan. I said, I want to be 300K by the end of the year. And, Last year we barely grazed 100K, and that was with the high ticket, but all these other duct tape things, right? So a lot of it wasn't from, half of it was from these downloads and things like that I'm not doing a whole lot of anymore because it doesn't make sense. So we are definitely going to be on track to hit the 300K. I want to see if I can push it, but my number one focus is on serving my clients. It's okay if we don't hit that or more than that, but holy crap, to even be able to say 250 or 300K by the end of 22, that's legendary. And I say I can't wait to see how many people we're going to be able to help next year, because it takes a bit of time to get this going too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can't wait for your update at the end of the year. I know it's going to be amazing, and I'm just so happy for you and the very solid foundation that you've now built in your business, because it's such a peaceful way to grow moving forward and keep your focus on what truly matters, which is getting your clients the best results and getting the best clients in the door.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course, of course. And I'm so grateful that you took the time to do this with me today. I have one last question for you. I'm going to just open it up. If there are any questions for Derek in the chat, feel free to drop them now, because we'll do a little Q&A before we wrap up. So if you have any questions about Derek's process, his journey, any of the things we went over today, the Authority Accelerator, feel free to drop them into the chat right now. So my last question for you is for anyone who's sitting here today who felt like you felt before enrolling, had their hesitations, wasn't sure, but has been consuming these live case studies, consuming my content. What would you say to that person?
Yeah, I mean, I think the story kind of speaks for itself, right? Because I waited a year. Like, why would I want to wait a year to be able to do this interview or to be able to get these results, right? I waited a year because there was some pride, but also a little bit of concern about, being able to learn and things like that. The thing is, you're not going to be disappointed. And I think I was so concerned about being let down, and not because of anything that I had seen,
it's
but
just
because
normal.
of my own, personal experiences growing up and things like that. I was afraid I was going to be disappointed. So my message is, you're not going to be disappointed. It's a total game changer. And if you at all feel like you're doing too many things, you tried all the things like I have. I really believe that I have tried all of the things, right? And you want to be able to realize less is more. If these are things that resonate with you, I think you're going to be able to take advantage of this. It sounds like you're at the right stage to take advantage of this. I can only speak to people like me, right? So if you're like me, I really wouldn't wait, because I did wait, and where I could maybe be having a $750,000 a year this year if I didn't wait. I think those are the details. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's the level of income and impact that potentially it's costing you to wait. That was very well said. Thank you. Couple little quick questions. How many hours did you invest in the first 30 days? Do you know?
I treated it like a full-time job because I was able to, because I was working, for myself up to this point. So I work from home. I'm in a garage, whether you believe it or not. We were able to just do this just recently, even with some of the money, the investment that I got from, my program launching recently. We were able to renovate the garage a little bit so that I could work from home, spend more time with the family and all that stuff. It's been huge already, paying those sorts of dividends. But I treated it like a full-time job most of the time. And that means I don't sit there and work 9 to 5. It's never worked for me. It's why I can't ever go back to a normal job, because I go cross-eyed. It just doesn't work. So I want to be able to work the way that I work optimally. And if that means at 10 o'clock at night, I'm sitting here doing something for 2 hours, then that's what I'm going to do. So that's kind of how I operated. And that is how I did throughout the 30 days. It's like where I felt the inspiration, where I felt the energy. It was kind of like a 4 to 8 hours a day, depending on the day. And really didn't take too many weekends or days off during the 30 days, because I tried to really push it and get the maximum amount of results that I could. But I don't think I had to push it that much. It was just a personal decision.
Yeah. And we always say it's kind of like 5 hours a week, to be honest. If you want to implement the program, we say commit to 5 hours a week, and you'll be able to follow the timelines we lay out in the program, which is saying that from the day you join to getting your program off the ground, which is about 6 to 8 weeks generally. If you follow it to a T, it's about 5 hour a week.
And I'm talking about the time frame where I was doing calls. So I was literally
gotcha. Okay.
Enrollment calls, which was time well spent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going through the program, it's like the way the pie chart works is I spend 1% of my time kind of going through the lessons and the training, and 99% is on implementing and doing the work. And most courses, most programs, it's you sit back in the chair and you're just Passively, what? No. And that's something that's one of the biggest things I've learned and I've implemented into my program. Everything's outcome based.
Yes.
You have to do something. If you're going to bake a cake, that means you have to freaking go to the store, buy the eggs, the milk, and the butter. You can't just conceptually think about baking a cake.
Yes.
So I brought that to my program, and that is why my clients are getting results. And I didn't know that before. So that's where all the work comes in. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people are surprised when they enroll in the program that it's not like this super content heavy program. It's really efficient. And it's exactly what you said. It's like 1% consuming the content, 99% implementing, taking action on the content and actually getting results. So that's great for people to hear. Did you tweak your big ticket offer, or did you start from scratch?
That's a really good question. So coming into Authority Accelerator, again, I've been in this for, leading up to 4 years. I know my clients, right? I know exactly who I'm trying to serve. No, like I followed the process to the T, and I got that so much more deep on who I was wanting to serve. So because I did that, we had a conversation with this.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Coaching call. And it was a decision that ultimately I had to make, being, the captain of my ship here. But I decided, I did not feel good because the program was not intentionally designed from scratch for the people I was wanting to serve. So I did do it from scratch, and it did. And I was able to use some of the examples, some of the pre-recorded stuff to beef it up, but the whole layout of it was totally changed. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Simple Mindset asked, where did you find your first clients? I'm going to answer this really quickly first. This will be different for every single person who comes in, because like I said, we have clients who come in with no audience at all, like zero following online, zero business. And there's a plethora of ways that you can find clients that we support you with inside the program. But one of the activities we have you do is to schedule 50 actual phone calls to meet your ideal clients. And we have the process laid out in the program to do that. And that really does build the baseline of getting your first hot clients in the door without having to have an audience or anything else. That can come from so many different ways. It can come from email, direct email. It can come from your existing network offline, which a lot of people don't think about. They think if it's an online business, you have to be doing social media. There can be an existing network offline. It can come from partnering with people who have the ideal audience for you. And in your case, Derek, it came from your YouTube channel and it came from your email list. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah, cool. So really it depends on where you're at in your business, but the way we've laid out the program is that even if you come in with no audience, we're going to show you how to find your first 50 clients. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. That's all the questions. You stayed for an hour, which I so appreciate your time. Thank you. We've gone a little bit over. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. I just want to say, if you're watching the replay of this, the best way to get in touch with our team and to apply to be a part of the Authority Accelerator and to actually speak to a real human is to book a call. So I'm going to just put the link again one more time. It's just sunnyleonarduzzi.com/apply. It's on the screen right now. And you can also just drop the word apply in the comments, regardless of where you're watching, if you're watching the replay, and our team will get in touch with you as well. So I hope to see a lot of you on the inside. Thank you so much, Derek, for your time. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who tuned in from all over the world. We have people here from everywhere. So thank you. And we'll look forward to our next client case study next month.
Absolutely. Look forward to it. Thanks, Sunny. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks so much.